Hi, this is Adam Olin, CEO of Russell and Spark, a boutique branding and marketing firm. After 25 years in creative agencies, I realized that the very best reviews came from my story training sessions. So I turned them into a keynote, but I didn't know how to break into speaking. I'm so glad I found Laurie-Ann Murabito's Be in Demand podcast and joined her community of speaking professionals. From book publishing to sales strategies to the details that distinguish true professionals, it's been invaluable. Even if you can't get into her exclusive community calls, you can still listen to the podcast.
Hey, are you a coach, a consultant, or a service provider? Thinking about using speaking? Wondering how speaking will actually help your business? Well, you're in the right place because this podcast is all about how to leverage speaking opportunities to use as your best form of marketing. I talk about everything from writing, delivering, and how to sell from the stage without sounding sleazy. Because none of us want to do that. This is all about giving your audience great value and calling in the perfect clients. Because remember, speaking is the fastest way to grow your business. Today, I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Because I get a lot of people, including myself, who are afraid of speaking. And I get it. Once upon a time, I couldn't even make eye contact with people. But I taught my nervous system new tricks. And the way that I did that, which is part of what I want to share here, I want to share how I overcame this fear of speaking, but also the fear of even just making eye contact with people and having a conversation. I literally one day, and I remember the day very well, I worked in a grocery store as a teenager and into my college years. And I remember watching my friends and fellow colleagues as they were chatting with each other. Now, these were the same people who would chat so easily with customers, strangers. And I just was watching them and I thought, wow, this behavior of mine is not going to serve me in the long run. And I remember thinking, I need to make eye contact. So the very next person that I spoke with, I dared myself, yes, dared, to look them in the eye as I spoke with them. And then after a few seconds, I could look away. And I remember thinking, wow, that was easy. They didn't laugh at me. The earth didn't open up and swallow me whole. Like nothing bad happened. So I had this positive reinforcement. And I just thought, oh, I wonder if I could do it again. And of course, the answer is yes. Of course, I can do it again. And I can do it a little bit longer. And that's what happened. I just kept doing it again and again, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. And now when I tell people that I'm a reformed, painfully shy girl, they look at me as, you're on stage. How did that happen? How did you get there? Like, they actually do not believe that I'm a shy girl, that I got this shy streak. But I'm here to tell you that yes, I do. And it does like to rear its ugly head from time to time. Sometimes the most inconvenient times. And I just have to say, okay, fear, I see you, but no big deal. Like I can walk in this room. I can be the first to extend my hand to somebody and say, hi, I'm Laurie-Ann. It's nice to meet you. I can walk up to the meeting planner at a conference and tell them how wonderful this conference is and what I really enjoyed about it and what they did that was so different that I've never seen before. And when do you start planning next year? And sharing with them what I speak about and how long I've been speaking. Like I can do all those things now because I've done the reps. So if fear shows up when you're about to speak, enter a room, go to a networking event, hop online, it doesn't mean that you're not ready. It means that you're human. And the most powerful thing that you can do in that moment is slow down. Speak with purpose and move with intention. This is something that I noticed that I've started to do. And I want to share this with you because one of the things that I know about fear and even nervousness is our nervous system start to increase our heart rate, increase our breathing, increase our blood pressure. We start to move even a little bit faster. And I want you to slow things down. Very intentional. So before we wait till we're in that moment, because you probably won't remember the slow down remedy when it's actually time. So what I want you to do for the next week is I want you to intentionally walk slower, move slower, speak slower, decide slower. You're doing everything with intention. You walk into a room, you're not rushing. It's one step at a time. So you are intentionally slowing down your body and your thinking process. So if we think of this as the gears in a car. I grew up learning how to drive a car on a manual transmission. So I love the stick shift and loved participating in my driving. So, you're normally driving in fifth gear. So I want you to think of this as you are in third gear, maybe even second gear. So I just want you to take it down a notch. This is how you are going to teach your body that you can slow down. Because when you slow down, when you intentionally slow down, your heart rate's going to decrease. Your breathing rate is going to decrease. Your blood pressure will decrease. And you're not going to feel that stress. As a matter of fact, when we are stressed, when we are in fearful situations, our breathing is very rapid. It's in and out really quick. But when you're intentional about your breathing, you're breathing in and you're exhaling, and most likely you are exhaling longer than you are inhaling. So that's what I want you to try doing. So big point here. This is not a fake it till you make it. That is not how you are going to own your body or own the room or even feel confident faking it till you make it. No, this is about being confident, but being very intentional, like just knowing your space and commanding that attention, being okay with being deliberate and being okay with not being like the center of attention. Because just because you're not the center of attention in a room does not mean that you are not confident. As a matter of fact, I had a client that I was working with she was a local client. And she once said to me, I'm just not as confident as such and such. And I said, oh, such and such is like in the DISC personality profile system. She's an I. She is the center of attention. She is the life of the party. That's just who she is. That doesn't mean that that's the only type of confidence. I said, you can have your own version of confidence, but it's about owning who you are, being comfortable with who you are, being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. And I'm thinking about like when you go to networking events or you go to a conference and then there's the mingling part and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know anybody. Can I just go back up to my room so that I can get away from here? But instead, that confident version of you who's very deliberate, who's going to walk into that room slow with intention, feels great. People will actually notice you, by the way. So just try it. Because so many other people are racing through life. They're rushing down the hallway. They're, they're going up to the bar to grab their drink. They're looking at their phones. They're doing anything but to feel uncomfortable because they don't know anybody. So just be very deliberate about it. And then think about all the other areas that you can use this in. Just before you're about to speak, whether that's virtual or in person, just before you're about to do that guest podcast appearance. Yeah, we can all get nervous. There are so many different situations that you're going to notice where being a little bit slower is going to come in handy. Because it's like you're telling fear, hey, I see you. I know you're there, but you're not going to make me doubt myself. I got this today. And this is just going to completely transform the way that you show up on stage, the way that you show up on those virtual events, because people are going to be able to feel your confidence. And if you've noticed that there's more emotion in my voice, it's because one, I've been working with a voice coach, and two, I just feel so much more comfortable, like I am expressing myself. So this is all new for me. I've been getting DMs over on Instagram. People are like your podcast sounds different. A couple of people actually thought I got a new microphone. Was I recording in a different area? It's like, no. The answer is no, it's not. That's not it. It's all me. It's the way that I'm showing up, the way that I'm expressing myself. But it's very intentional. And when you have that confidence, I mean, think about what your audience is going to think when they watch you walk on stage, when they watch you move to the front of the room, when you're on Zoom, when you're on that video that you're creating. You are assuring the audience that they're in the right place, that they are listening to the right person. Especially like if you're at a conference and there's multiple breakout sessions, you don't want people doubting like, oh my God, that speaker doesn't look confident. Your job is to make the meeting planner look like a rock star and to make that audience feel like they're in the right place. Don't worry. You as a speaker, you got them. Because after all those little doubts that are in your mind, like the fear of speaking really does come from, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to look foolish. What if something happens that I just look weird up there. I can't answer a question. I forget what I'm going to say. The slides don't work. There's so many different things that can happen, but don't worry. You got this. And tech does every once in a while. I always warn my clients something will go wrong. It's not me being pessimistic. I just always want them to know something can go wrong. And your job as a speaker is to make it look like, no big deal. And I've had clients call me afterwards and say, tech didn't work. They couldn't get my slides. It took them an extra 10 minutes to get my slides up on the screen. So there I was like, not quite sure what to do. But they handled it like a pro. They just started, hey, let me talk with the audience. Microphone doesn't work. There's so many different weird things that can happen. But you as a speaker, if you're anticipating them, you can handle them with confidence and with grace. And I will share with you that when I first started speaking and I was wearing the suit and the heels and I was looking oh so professional because, I did speak on leadership. So that is very serious stuff. And I did feel awkward. And it came out in my voice. It came out in the way that I moved. It came out in the words that I chose. But after you keep doing the reps, you feel more comfortable. And that's what I needed to do when I first started out. Like I hadn't done enough reps. Of course, I wasn't a good speaker. There was so much that I didn't know. And I have learned so much along the way. And every single time that I speak at an event, on stage, virtually, in a mastermind, on somebody else's podcast, doing an IG live with somebody, I always, always think about just like as soon as it's done, what went well? What didn't go well? What do I wish was different? If I could go back and do it again right now, rewind on life, what would I say differently? If it's an in-person event, did I have enough pens for forms, for notes? Did I have enough handouts? Batteries? Did I have enough batteries for like my lavalier microphone that I was recording my speech with? All of those things. I always think back on what worked, what didn't work, what do I wish was different, and what do I need to do to improve it next time? So that's just a little side note because I don't want you to see me speaking or hear me speaking and say, "Oh my God, like, but she's so far ahead. Like, I'll never get to that." Well, guess what? I've done a lot of reps. I've got 25 years of speaking experience. I've done a lot of reps. So give yourself some grace if you have not done a lot of reps. And I'll even share with you that when I don't do enough reps, I get a little, like I get a little rusty, but it does come back quickly. So I want to assure you of that. So just get out there and have fun. And so your homework assignment, because I'm giving you all a homework assignment, is just to move with intention, slow down, take a lower gear, teach your body to move a little bit slower. That way, when you really need to move slower, it'll be there. Like you will have taught your nervous system new tricks. And if you're tired of chasing clients, tweaking your website, and discounting your prices, maybe it's time that you build a brand that people think of you first. Remember, be in demand. Because I want you to go from being another option to the only option. And maybe you're already feeling it. You know, like it's time to step up and own your space. You don't need another podcast episode to convince you. I see you. You are ready to build a brand so strong that when people think of your expertise, they think of you. Hey, if that's you, I want you to book a speaker success call, and that link will be down below in the show notes. And if you're intrigued, but you got some questions or you're thinking, I need to figure this out. I'm not sure if this is the thing for my business, for my industry. I get it. And that's exactly what we're going to try to figure out on the call. I have several different ways that I work with clients, and we'll find the best fit for your situation. So until next week, I want you to be in demand and walk around a little slower.